Return of the Living Dead 3 is of course the second sequel to the horror fan favorite Return of the Living Dead from 1985. Although this one is pretty much just a sequel in name only. While the two first films of the franchise was awesome horror comedies, this one sets itself apart as it tries to be something new with being a zombie movie with a romantic twist added to it, instead of simply rehashing what happened in the first film. This film tells the story of the young couple Kurt and Julie, played by Trevor, Edmond and Melinda Clarke respectively. Kurt's father works at a military base, and one day the couple sneaks in to check out what's going on in there.
What are you doing?
It's all in the tongue.
They are both horrified and fascinated by the fact that the military is working on bringing dead bodies back to life by exposing them to some sort of toxic waste called trioxin. After storming out from an argument with Kurt's dad, the youngsters ride into the night on a motorcycle before they, for some unknown reason, end up in an accident. Destroyed by the fact that his girlfriend has now died, Kurt does the unimaginable and brings Julie's dead body back to the military base and exposes her body to trioxin to bring it back to, well, alive. But as we learned through movies for years now, what you bring back from death won't ever be quite the same. Return of the Living Dead 3 has had a growing reputation over the years and has now become a cult classic, with some even holding it up as their favorite of the Return series. I have memories of buying it on VHS back in the day, but that's mostly due to the very striking cover art, featuring the lovely Melinda Clarke in her full gut zombie chick makeup, which by the way took from 6 to 9 hours to apply to her. Other than the fact that it was different from the first two films, there wasn't much more that I could remember about it, so I was quite excited to revisit it again today. The premise is set up very quickly, as it doesn't take long before Kurt and dead Julie is on the run, from both the military and also a group of Mexican thugs that they come across and manage to piss off in a supermarket.
Hey man, what the fuck is wrong with her?
Don't worry about it.
Don't you ever feed her, ese?
Since the heart of the film is revolved around the love between Kurt and Julie, I would have preferred the film to take a bit more time in setting up their relationship before turning into a zombie movie. Although that was too much to expect from a low-budget studio horror picture of 1993, I guess. While we do get some backstory to the Kurt character, as we see that he's lost his mother, and his father is hardly there for him due to constantly working, which is also the reason for them moving around from place to place every year, making Kurt unable to settle down and make friends. He's basically the angsty, rebellious teenager that we as horror fans are supposed to relate to. While he has some annoying features to him and does some questionable choices that seem to be there only to make sure that the plot of the film goes forward, what does work about him is the chemistry and care he has for Julie. She's the real star of the film and has become a fan favorite. It's hard to argue against necrophilia when you see just how hot Melinda Clarke looks in this. Who doesn't want a girlfriend that loves you and don't want to hurt you, even when she's craving some hot, juicy brain candy? Although if you look closely, then you will notice that the character is basically nothing else than that. She's a hot, devoted girlfriend, and that's it. I do wish I had done more with the character instead of just making her into Kurt's girlfriend, but the character still works, much in thanks to the natural charm and sexiness of red-headed Clarke. So, the romance part between Kurt and Julie totally works and is perhaps the best part of the film. And their ending together? Nice touch and very Shakespearean. The horror element of the film though? Well, as a zombie movie it's okay, but nothing spectacular. There aren't all that zombie action going on, as most of the zombies are contained within the military base, so there isn't that apocalyptic feel that most zombie stories goes for to be found here. The zombies look for the most part fun, but are also a bit cartoonish. It does seem like a lot of the budget went into the makeup department though, as it otherwise looks and feels like a very small production. The so-called military base is very unconvincing and was probably just a warehouse that they could have done more to give a military feel to. And speaking of this high-tech military base, this place has got to have the worst security ever. There are some gore to be found, especially if you get the unrated version, which I will come back to shortly, but this is not a gore fest, so if that's what you're after, then this is not the movie for you. The most icky scenes are when Julie does some self-mutilation, as that keeps her hunger in check. I have a thing about watching people do that type of stuff to themselves, so those scenes were quite effective on me. Wally has done a few horror films that are beloved today, and some that I myself also enjoy quite a lot. I've actually never been a huge fan of director Brian Yuzna. After being a producer on a few Stuart Gordon movies, he got the chance to work as a director himself on a 1989 cult classic Society. He followed that one up with the first sequel to Stuart Gordon's Reanimator with Bride of Reanimator, and Silent Night Deadly Night 4 Initiation, before starting to work on Return of the Living Dead 3. My personal favorite of his films are actually The Dentist from 1996. While I must say that it's been several years since I've seen it now, I loved it around the time it was released on VHS, and I guess it is due for a revisit sometime soon. Return of the Living Dead had an estimated budget of $2 million and was filmed during 4 weeks from October to November of 1992. It got a small theatrical run the very next year before hitting VHSs worldwide shortly after. When the days of DVDs came, the film started to get hard to find uncut, as the American DVD of it did not give the fans the full version. Us Europeans, however, could enjoy it in all its glory though. But for Americans, it would take all the way up until its recent Blu-ray release from Vestron until they could experience the same. Unless they were happy with old VHSs or Laserdisc, or just got themselves a region-free DVD player, of course. The franchise would die out for over 10 years before the back-to-back movies Return of the Living Dead Rave to the Grave and Return of the Living Dead Necropolis were both released in 2005. Both of those went back to being more common zombie movies, but honestly about of the same quality as what you would expect from movies made by the Sci-Fi Channel, and not deserving to have the Return of the Living Dead name attached to them. Return of the Living Dead 3 sets itself apart as a zombie movie and feels quite fresh because of it. The love story work and Melinda Clarke is absolutely excellent in this one. You do have to be forgiving of errors if you want to enjoy this one though. There are boom mics to be found, and the way the Latinos are portrayed are just embarrassing. If you are able to ignore stuff like that, then you got yourself something as rare as a good 90s zombie movie. I'm gonna give Return of the Living Dead 3 a 3.5 out of 5. So, where do you rank this one in the trilogy? I'm gonna just keep 4 and 5 out of it, as I'm sure no one would put those above the original 3. And what other horror movies with a love story to it do you enjoy and want to recommend to others? Let me know in the comment section below, subscribe if you want more of my reviews in the future, and of course, thank you for watching.
No, Kurt. Don't leave me.
Get out of the way, son! Get away from her!